We're kicking off a brand new chapter of the podcast with a special 21-day series called From Purpose to Impact. I'm celebrating by giving back to listeners who are ready to take the next step. If you've been feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or unsure of how to move forward in your online business, I want to hear from you. Simply go to youronlinebusinessmentor.com and tell me what's been holding you back. Or ask a question you'd love for me to answer on the show, and you'll be entered in a special listener giveaway for access to programs designed to support you in your journey. I can't wait to help you get unstuck and moving forward. Welcome to day 19 of my 21-day series, From Purpose to Impact. Today, I want to do something a little different. I want to answer your real questions. Now, I have been doing this in the series, but not in the way I'm going to do it today. Over the last few weeks, I've received questions from listeners who are launching, repositioning, building, refining, and sometimes just trying to figure out where they fit in this online business world. And here's what I've realized. Behind almost every tactical question is an emotional one. So many of you have shared with me the real raw feelings of what's holding you back. You're wondering, will this work? Will I make money? Can I do this sustainably? And how do I show up without burning out? So today I'm going to answer 4 of your real questions, and I think you'll see a common thread that's running through all of them. The first question is, what's the best way to attract aligned leads without depending on social media every day? I love this question because so many people assume visibility equals daily posting, or that visibility can only happen on social media. Neither of these are true. I wish I had realized sooner that you do not need to be everywhere. You simply need to be intentional and consistent somewhere. So instead of asking, how do I post more? I want you to ask yourself, where can I go deeper? You really just need one strong long-form platform, like a podcast, YouTube channel, or a blog or newsletter. By sharing content consistently in one of these places, paired with a really clear call to action, can actually build a more aligned audience than scattered daily posts across multiple platforms. When you show up consistently, you build traction and relationships. It's all about conversations and direct invitations for people to take the next step. But serving deeply is what allowed me to eventually scale broadly. So social media is a tool, but it's not the foundation. The foundation is clarity on who you serve, how you help, and then an invitation for them to take that next step with you. When your transformation is clear and your offer is validated, your content becomes much simpler. We have so many AI tools today that will take our long-form content and break it up into various types of posts that do allow us to post in multiple places. But it's really important to choose that main platform that you're really going to learn, really going to dig into, and really going to show up serving your audience. Remember, it's not about posting every day. It's about reinforcing your messaging themes consistently and inviting people into that next step. Aligned leads come from aligned messaging, not volume. The second question is, how do you know if your course content will be successful? So underneath this question is honestly something a little deeper. And it's usually things like, what if I quit my job and this doesn't work? What if my content's not good enough? What if I fail publicly? Honestly, you will not know if your content and your framework is successful by thinking about it. You will only know by delivering it. Clarity does not come from isolation. It comes from interaction. It comes from implementation. This is why I talk so much about small cohorts and validation before you launch and scale. You do not need to quit your job to validate your idea, but you do want to test your transformation with 3 to 5 paying people. When they experience results, you gain proof. And when you have proof, confidence follows. Revenue will stabilize through repetition and refinement, not perfection. So if fear of income is driving your hesitation, reduce the risk by starting smaller. Launch lean and validate first. Sustainable revenue is built step by step, not necessarily by one giant leap. I think so many times people are hesitant to launch something because they think it's not successful unless I have X number of people join or I make X number of dollars. Honestly, if you're launching an offer for the first time, even having 2 to 3 paying students gives you the opportunity to work closely in a small group. It's where you're going to refine your methods by figuring out where they get stuck and where they hesitate. And you're going to gain so much knowledge and authority when those students finish and complete that program and have a transformation. If you listen to any of my past episodes on developing cohort style experiences, you'll learn that your course is so much more than the content inside. You are actually an experienced leader and guide. And when that identity shift happens, a lot of the pressure is released because it's not the information you're creating that's going to bring transformation. It's how your students implement and take action. The next question is, how do I develop an online personality that feels like me? And this one kind of made me smile because it's not that you need to develop a personality, you just need to clarify your perspective. You're not performing, you're leading. And so you don't have to become this certain person, and you definitely don't have to say something profound every day. Sharing on social media is not about creating a persona, it's about reinforcing your message consistently. And I remember in the beginning, I didn't know what that message was supposed to be. But over time, I started to realize that by understanding the offers that I provide, the transformation I help people with, and who I was serving, it allowed me to start leaning into these messaging themes. Now, back then, we didn't have AI tools like we have today. But the great thing about tools like ChatGPT or Claude or whatever tools you're using, you can absolutely brainstorm and determine your messaging themes. What are the things that you believe about your process, about your framework or your roadmap that you are leading students through? What are things that you've learned in your journey that you now do differently and why? Just by chatting and having a conversation with your AI tools, it will help you determine your messaging themes. Some of my messaging themes and mantras are: you have to launch to learn, the value of taking massive imperfect action, that transformation doesn't come from information, it comes from implementation. These are all perspectives that are a part of who I am and what I focus on with my students and my clients. So, what do you believe about your industry? What do you see that others are missing? What mistakes do you want to help people avoid? You want to speak from that place. Speak directly to the problem you solve and invite people to take the next step. Remember, authority is not volume, it's clarity repeated. The last question I want to answer today is, what is one thing you know now that you wish you had known sooner? This is such a relevant question as I'm just a few days away from my 6th anniversary of launching my business. And, when I think about this question, there's a lot of things, sure, I wish I had known sooner, like which tools really worked and which didn't, which launches worked the best, which offers sold the best, which platforms I should have started on. I could sit here all day and kind of wish for those things, but the truth is, where I am today and what I'm experiencing now is all because I didn't know the answers to those questions for the first few years. So, would I change anything? Probably not, because I wouldn't have confidence in the actions I'm taking today and the tools I'm using today and the offers I'm selling today if I had not gone through the journey of figuring out the things I didn't like or that didn't work. Now, I know that doesn't seem like a very helpful answer, but I do want to encourage everybody. You are in the right place of where you need to be. While we all look back and go, oh, I wish I would have learned that sooner, or I wish this would have happened faster. Often we have to go through these experiences ourselves in order to recalculate and find the right path. Remember, there's no way to see the entire map and final destination of our business journey. All we can do is make decisions and take the next step. The biggest thing I want to share to these 4 people who submitted their questions and all of you listening today, remember, it's not about doing more. It's about sequencing better. You want clarity before visibility, validation before scale, relationships before the runway, and perspective before performance. When you build in this order, sustainable revenue becomes possible. And if you're realizing that your current model's kind of heavy on information and light on implementation, that is exactly what I want to help you with. The first step is to get my free guide, The Course Evolution. It will help you move from a static delivery to guided experiences that increase completion, testimonials, and referrals. You can download it at launchwithlydia.com/evolution. Let me leave you with this. What if the thing holding you back is not lack of knowledge, but lack of decision? So I want you to make a decision today. Out of these 4 things, pick one step. Do you need to clarify your transformation? Do you need to validate your offer? Do you need to invite 5 people to join you? Do you need to publish one focused piece of content? Momentum does not come from doing everything. It simply comes from doing the next step again and again and again. Thanks for listening to Your Online Business Mentor. If you've built a course and it isn't selling consistently, or you're tired of launching without lasting momentum, I want you to know this. Your course isn't the problem. It's your delivery model. I put together a free resource called the Course Evolution Guide, which shows you how to evolve what you've already built into a cohort-driven experience that increases engagement, results, and repeatable revenue. It's not about starting over. It's about refining what you have so it finally works for you. Download it for free at launchwithlydia.com/evolution.